Hi guys, and welcome to episode 36 of Kent Walks. Today we've started in the village of Cliffe, headed northwest-ish on some byway, some stony track byway through the nature reserve, and picking up the Thames estuary. We're going to be following the Thames estuary sort of west-southwest-ish for I don't know how far, round by Cliffe Fort, before heading back towards the village of Cliffe. Today's walk is about 7.2, maybe pushing 7.5 miles, so it's longer than usual, but it's going to be very flat. So I've started nice and early, so hopefully I'm not going to be here at the hottest part of the day, because it's looking at getting quite warm today. But enjoy.
Head north up Church Street, past the Six Bells pub and St Helen's Church onto Pond Hill to swing left on Pickles Way. At the lake ahead, Radar Pool, turn right to follow the track, Mead Wall, north, and keep following it as it bends round Black Barn Pools to head west to the banks of the River Thames. Follow this south, hugging the riverbank to Cliffe Creek. Keep to the path as close to the creek as possible to get back round to the Thames and subsequently Cliffe Fort. Head along the path that splits the Thames from an unnamed lake, and at a junction where the banks of the river and pool depart, head left to say goodbye to the Thames. At the next path junction, turn left again to go between lakes and through the works of Brett Aggregates to Westcourt Farm. Hop over stiles to follow the marked path through a field to the south of the Eternal Lake Nature Reserve to emerge at Buckland Road. Head right along the road, looking out for a stile into an orchard. Head north-northeast through said orchard to Simmons Road. Follow the road north and turn right at the end. At the mini roundabout, turn left up Church Street, back to the start.
Morning.
Cliffe is believed to be one of, if not the oldest settlement on the Hoop Peninsula, with evidence of settlements from the Mesolithic period continuing to the present day. Archaeological evidence verifies the importance of the area, especially during both the Romano-British and the better documented Anglo-Saxon periods. Today, it lies in a largely undisturbed geographical landscape which contains important archaeological evidence. The reason for this lack of disturbance being due to the decline of the area's importance thanks to the waves of plagues from 1348 onwards, malaria, silting of the port and the disposal of the church lands and properties post the Reformation. The 13th century parish church of St Helen's is a Grade 1 listed building and is one of the largest parish churches in Kent and was a site of Christian worship since at least AD 774, when King Offa of Mercia granted land for the building of a church. St Helen lived in the 4th century AD and was the mother of the Emperor Constantine. She was highly venerated in the Middle Ages, as it was generally believed she had been privileged to discover the cross of Christ, or part of it. The great importance of Cliffe and its church can be seen by the rectors of the church producing 6 archbishops, 18 archdeacons, 7 bishops, 4 deans, 6 chancellors, 4 of which being either kings or lords, and 26 canons. The living at Cliffe was described in the 17th century as one of the prizes of the church. A Sterling bomber W7628 OJ-B was commanded by 22-year-old Flight Sergeant Adolf Sivak of Angusville, Manitoba, Canada. The aircraft took off from RAF Lakenheath, Suffolk at 18:36 on the 23rd of October 1942 on a bombing mission to Genoa, Italy. 112 Lancasters of 5 Group and the Pathfinders were dispatched in a mixed bomber force to recommence the campaign against Italy, which was timed to coincide with the opening of the British 8th Army offensive at El Alamein, Egypt. It was a perfectly clear moonlit night, and the Pathfinder marking was described as being both prompt and accurate. The bombing by this comparatively small craft of aircraft, carrying only 180 tons of bombs, could hardly have been carried out under more ideal conditions. A number of aircraft were lost on this raid, but none reportedly due to enemy action. Some crashed on landing, other losses were due to mechanical failure, and others being low or completely out of fuel after their long haul to Italy over the Alps, where Bomber Command had been called upon to attack northern Italian ports in support of the Allied landings on North Africa. Operation Torch. On the return leg of this mission, the Sterling ran out of fuel and crashed at 0300 hours into a row of 4 cottages and a farmhouse at Rice Street, Cliffe at Hoo, killing the 7 crew of the bomber. There was a civilian casualty, a 21-year-old Lillian May McPherson, who had recently given birth to a baby girl, died of exposure before help could get to her. The baby survived. Now, what I'm standing by and can see at the moment is a very lovely scheduled monument in the form of Cliffe Fort. It was built in the middle of the 19th century, and it's one of 5 surviving Royal Commission coastal forts in the Thames and Medway, and the building and the planning of the construction of the fort was overseen by General Gordon. As well as Cliffe Fort, a number of military remains can also be found, particularly Lower Hope Battery, in use from the early 1890s, World War II, to World War II. Extensive features of a form of a World War II anti-invasion defence known as the GHQ stop line, and aspects of a World War II decoy airfield. To the northwest of the village of Cliffe, on the south bank of the Thames, is situated the extensive workings of the Curtis and Harvey Explosive Works, which operated between 1892 and 1921 for the manufacture of nitroglycerine, nitroglycerine-based products, cordite, blasting gelatine, and chlorate-based explosive cheddite and gelatine dynamite.